What's good, YouTube? How y'all doing out there? It's your boy. About to come to y'all with a little natural birth story. A little story about Waterbirth. My perspective, what I thought about it, how it went down. So, some of y'all that know me, y'all know I got one son. We had him in a tub, Waterbirth. And my wife, she liked the way that went. So we decided we'd do the Waterbirth again. So, been dealing with some midwives, and they're good, man. You know, they do a good job. So we dealt with the same midwives that we dealt with the first time, at least the same group. And so anyway, long story short, put my first son to sleep. It's about 2-3 in the morning. I'm sitting there playing the PlayStation 3, one of the rare times I've been able to game, and I don't know how long. So I don't even remember what I'm playing, but you know, wifey comes to the front. She's like, I think you're starting. So I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. So, you know, immediately I flame the controller down, and you know, I start cleaning up the living room for a little bit, and then, you know, something kind of hit me like, wait, I mean, she started labor, but she ain't about to have the baby right now. So, you know, immediately I grab my little stopwatch, grab my little watch. There we go. And I'm checking. I'm, you know, using my timer, you know, counting the contractions, you know, going through that whole little bit. So, you know, we timing 10 minutes apart, 8 minutes apart, this and that, how long the contractions last, and this and that, you know. So, you know, whatever. So that went on a couple hours. And then contractions kind of slowed down. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm tired. I'm bone tired now. You know, it finally kicked in. My son woke up around 7 or so. And, you know, trying to keep him from keeping us up. But anyway, you know, we got some sleep. So I wound up sleeping till about 9 o'clock, something like that. Now, the funny thing is, wifey actually had a doctor's appointment that day. So we wind up, man, we went into the doctor's appointment. And I was supposed to do like the little valet parking at the hospital, but I'm kind of cheap. And I don't know, man, whatever happened, I just drove right past the people, man. So out of all the times, ain't really had no parking spots. I'm like, oh man, I done messed this up. She hurting, you know, and now I gotta go try to find a wheelchair, get the wheelchair to the car, and roll her down or whatever. So anyway, long story short, you know, she didn't say nothing, but I'm thinking she pissed at me because I didn't let her out by the little valet or whatever. So anyway, long story short, man, I roll on up. We get on down to the midwives. They go to the appointment or whatever. She go in the back. I'm playing with my little son in the little waiting room, playing with the little toys or whatever. She come back out. The midwife like, yep, it's about that time. So, man, they take her up to the room. So we go in the room or whatever. It's all good, you know. I'm thinking, all right, here we go, man. We're about to do this thing. The midwife, she was real good. You know, she was massaging her back and all that other stuff, man. This and that. Man, I'm leaving out a lot, bro. But picture, when she finally went into labor, man, she was screaming so loud. Man, I'm sure everybody down the hallway, in the parking lot, in the next building, I mean, everybody should have been hearing her, man. Now, she wasn't cussing and she wasn't crying, but she was letting out some and all this. But, man, going down to the ground, getting back up, doing this and doing that. And I was sitting there thinking, all right, so we gonna backtrack. The first time she was pregnant with my other son, there was a point where we was at the house. She's like, man, I'm feeling nauseous. I'm about to throw up. So I run to the bathroom. I go grab a bucket. You know, I come back. I put the bucket smack dab in the middle of the floor. I'm like, all right, gotta throw up in this bucket. Why is she gonna throw up not in the bucket, but right on the right side of the bucket? So, you know, I'm ticked. But I'm like, you know, all right, she going through, obviously. If she gonna miss the bucket, she must be feeling some type of way. So I clean that up, get that all straight or whatever. I'm trying to make sure the baby ain't waking up. But get that all straight, clean that all up or whatever, and go about my business. So anyway, fast forward. So we in the hospital, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, this chick, she gonna throw up in this hospital. She gonna throw up in this hospital. But she held it down. She ain't never threw up, man. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give you a little fair warning. It seems like there's a disconnect between the midwifery staff and the medical staff. I don't know what it is, man, because we had the nurses in there, and it just don't seem like they be on the same page for whatever reason. And I'm sure ain't nobody really having natural births no more. It's convenient having the C-sections. Women scared to go through a little pain, so everybody just trying to, get them little shots and all that other stuff. But look, man, I'm telling y'all, it's worth it. Get in the water, go through it, and don't go through the complications that could come about with these C-sections. Because them C-sections, they dangerous too, man. That's a major procedure. You going under the knife, and I think one of the elders in the family, I forget who said this, so I ain't gonna say no name, but they were saying, basically, when you having a baby, man, you got one foot in the grave. So, you factor that in with the fact that you're going under the knife and anything could go wrong. I done heard some horror stories, man, and it just ain't worth it. But anyway, back to my story. It seems like there's a disconnect between medical people and midwiferys or whatever. When, case in point, at one point, the midwife, she brought in some juice. She was giving us all some juice to drink. Y'all want some juice, cool. Trying to get our strength up. And that's the one good thing about having a Waterbirth too, man. You could eat, you could drink. They want you to be normal. They want you to be relaxed and comfortable. Whereas, if I'm not mistaken, I think when you letting them induce you, or if you're doing a C-section and all that, they try to keep you from eating and drinking. But anyway, back to my story. So it seemed like the baby was having one of them periods where it wasn't as active. Well, the midwife, she was cool, but the nurse said something about, we're trying to make sure it's not a problem because, the baby isn't active right now. And, that's why we're trying to give him something to drink to make sure it's not, nothing going wrong. So I'm thinking, damn, if somebody in labor, that's a hell of a thing to say. That's going to do some panic. And midwife quickly stepped in. She was like, man, that's not the case. We give everybody something to drink. We just trying to get strength up. Lo and behold, a couple minutes later or whatever, baby started doing like it do. It was just, they have them periods where they go from sleeping and go to being up, go to sleep and go to being up. So, long story short, man, she screamed, she hollered, she pushed through. Everything was good. Everything was great. But, what I will say is, and it kind of ticks me off, it pisses me off that they try to make you so scared about everything and alter your plans that you kind of have set forth. They try to alter your plans, and I remember the first time my wife didn't want the epidural. She started feeling the pain, and the nurse was like, well, you sure you don't want an epidural? It's like, bruh, if we say that's not what we want, don't be trying to do this stuff at the last minute. That stuff, it really pisses me off, man. We probably should have said something about it, but, it is what it is. But they try to do that type of stuff to you. They try to scare you. And case in point, after we had the baby, we said, look, we natural everything, man. We don't be with all them, shot for this and shot for that. I believe there's a time and a place for medical intervention and whatnot, but vitamin K droplets in the eyes and, well, it's not the vitamin K in the eyes, but whatever ointment over the eyes that they try to put, that stuff ain't necessary. Them vitamin K shots and all that stuff ain't necessary. But they'll try to scare you into making these decisions. The baby might get this, or the baby might get that, and do this and do that. And yeah, okay, I understand that there's a chance that this stuff could happen, but 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna happen. And maybe I'm not articulating this the best, to say what I'm trying to say, but they try to scare you into positions of doing stuff, just like with the flu shot. They try to scare everybody into taking these flu shots, and then it comes out after the fact that the vaccine that they put out is ineffective for the strand of flu that's actually out right now. And that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. And then you don't even talk about all of the cases where these people taking these flu shots and they getting even more sick and having all these other complications. But y'all know me, man. I don't like that vaccine stuff, and I could go off into a rant on that. But as a black male in particular, it was, man, I'm proud of my wife. She did a good job. It was awesome. And it was obvious that the midwives and the people at the hospital we were at, they ain't used to seeing that type of stuff. They for sure ain't used to seeing a man sticking by his woman, that look like me. You know what I'm saying? And they be surprised to see that unity. But look, man, it's a cool thing, and I think more women need to explore that option. Hell, if it's just for the financial benefit of it, man, I think if you having a baby naturally, if you're having a baby naturally, you're looking at a couple $1,000s. Whereas if you're doing it the traditional, go to the doctor and let them pull it out you and all this other mess, man, you're looking at probably $20,000-$30,000, and that in itself is ridiculous, because from what I done witnessed, a doctor don't need to do anything. The nurse don't need to do anything. All they doing is performing moral support. When I was there with my wife, we ain't had no doula. You don't need a doula. I was the doula. You know what you do? You sit there and you give them support, man. You give them support. You coach them through. You keep encouraging them. And you just keep on keeping their mind focused on the task at hand, which is to just push on through. It's temporary. It's going to be over soon. But it's a beautiful thing. Waterbirths are very safe. Taking it from my wife's perspective, man, I got that Brian McKnight thing going on. Listening from my wife's perspective, man, it's that water helps, man. It helps a lot of keys. It just no tears, and I'm looking at her body's starting to come back into itself just like that. I mean, how we stayed in the hospital like 2 days, maybe. I don't think we even stayed 3. And we was out, and she was cool. She was walking. I've seen people with C-sections, man. Take longer than 3 days. So, there go the little one. I guess I'll wrap this up. Y'all be good. Peace. I wasn't finished what I was saying, but anyway, here's my big baby sitting on me, trying to go to sleep. He done woke up. But anyway, I was saying this to say this. If you want to read about her whole natural birth, her experience, and she actually has a good write-up about what she went through and her feelings and all that good stuff, go to gumbohair.com. That's www.gumbohair, Gumbo Hair, and check it out, man. Check it out. It's a good read. It's kind of funny. She got some good little points in there, and you can get a lot of insight from her perspective as to what went on and what she was thinking and all that other good stuff. Me, I was thinking, I'm glad it ain't me. All right, y'all be good. Peace.